Assalamu alaikum students, I am your science teacher. Today we are going to play a game that is very common, that is name, place, animal, thing and fruit. I will give you some alphabets. You have to write name, city, animal, place and fruit in your notebooks. The first letter that I am going to give you is P. You have to write name, city, animal, place and fruit, and your time starts now. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Stop. Stop, beta. Please stop. First, I write in my copy. I write Pawan as a name, Peshawar as a city, animal as a pigeon, place as a Pakistan, and the fruit is one pear. I hope you enjoy this game. Let's start our science time. In our science time, what we do? We observe, we compare, and we use our eyes and use our ears, hands, nose and tongue. Why? Because of 5 senses that we have. For example, we have eyes, nose, ears, hands and the tongue one. Today we are going to discuss about the separating solid from the liquid, and in the previous module we have discussed about the mixtures and the solutions. Today we are going to discuss about the topic that is separating suspended solid particles from the liquid one, and this is done by the filtration method. What is filtration now? The filtration is the technique that is used to separate an insoluble solid from a mixture. It means that the separation of insoluble particles from the liquid is known as a filtration. The suspended solids can be removed by the filtration. This means that the pouring the mixture through the filter paper. The liquid, the filtrate, passes through a small holes in the paper, but the solid, the residue, is trapped. Now here residue are the one that is insoluble particles that are left behind after the filtration. For example, we have a mixture of salt, sand and water. Sand does not dissolve with the water, so the sand will be the residue that is left behind after the filtration, while the filtrate is the one that is going to be filtered, such as water or a salt. As salt dissolve in a water properly, so they can be easily passed from the filter paper. This is the technique that is used for the filtration when the particles in a mixture are too small to be caught by a sieve, and when the component of the mixtures are in different stages, we can separate them by using filter paper as a filtration method. Next is we are going to separate dissolved solids from a liquid. For example, we have a solution of water and a salt. This can be separated by heating method. Separate the water, and the left one is salt crystals are so it evaporates. The method obtaining salt from a seawater from the copper sulfate solution. Note that with this method the solvent is lost to the surrounding air. Then we are going to separate salt from the sand. Salt will dissolve in water, but sand will not, as I have discussed before. This fact can be used to separate the salt from the sand. Now we are going to separate salts from the sand by the method. The first step is that add water to the salt sand mixtures and stir properly. The salt will dissolve, but the sand will not. Then second step is pour the salt sand water mixture through the filter paper. Salt solution will pass through because it is soluble, but sand will be trapped in the filter paper. Why? Because it is insoluble. Then we are going to heat the clear salt solution. The water will evaporate and the dry salt crystals are left behind. And in this way we can separate salts from the sand. Next we are going to discuss about the solubility. Now what is solubility? Solubility, we can measure how easily a solute will dissolve in a certain solvent. This measurement is known as a solubility. As we have discussed before that the solute is the one that is going to be dissolved in the liquid and the solvent is the one in which the solute is dissolving. The measurement of solute is known as a solubility, and high solubility means the solute dissolves quickly and easily, for example salt in a water, and low solubility means the solute does not dissolve easily, and for example sand in water. For example, we have another example, copper sulfate dissolves well in a cold water. The maximum amount of a copper sulfate that will dissolve depends on the amount of the water and on the temperature of the water. For example, we can dissolve about 21 gram of copper sulfate in 100 gram of water at room temperature, which is 20 degrees Celsius. This is known as the solubility. It will just sink as a solid. We say the solution is going to be a saturated. If we want to dissolve the extra copper sulfate, we can either add water or heat the solution. The solubility at a particular temperature is also different. So basically solubility is the one that we are going to measure how easily a solute will dissolve in a certain solvent. I hope you get this point. Today your homework is to page number 90, 96, 97 and 98 of your textbook in your copies, and also do your activity book work of chapter 7, that is mixtures and the solutions, and your deadline is Friday. Please do your homework. Thank you.